All right, now everybody is looking for that god tier case for either your gaming PC or maybe your stream setup, etc., that has a lot of features but doesn't break the bank. And I think Montech has come really close to doing that. Let's take a look at it. Now this is the Montech Air 100 ARGB. This case actually came out a while ago. I'm just now getting around to making a video about it because, well, every time I try to make a video about it, it was going out of stock because this was back in 2021 and stock was what stock was and it just kept going in and out for months at a time. Now it's actually in stock and available, so I feel like it's a good idea to let you guys know my thoughts on it. Now first off, airflow, it does have a mesh front panel, so you get plenty of airflow, though it is just a mesh airflow and there is not a dust cover behind that, but still airflow is still very good in this case. Now it does actually have a magnetic hinged front glass panel, which you can open up just like that, and you can actually slide it off. I'm not going to do that because it actually takes me a little while to put it back on because I suck at lining up the pins. But that being said, very nice feature to have for when you're building to be able to just take that panel off and move it. Now the back actually comes with thumb screws for removing the back panel, which is very nice, and actually from the factory you can remove them with your thumbs. You don't have to use a screwdriver. I built in probably 5 or 6 of these already, and it's one of my favorite cases, but that's one of the reasons why is, generally speaking, I don't recall ever having to get out a screwdriver to get the thumb screws off. It's the little things, guys. All right, for your front I/O, pretty standard. It's going to have 2 of the USB 3, USB 2, and a dedicated microphone and headphone jack. It also has a reset switch, which can double for a lighting control for the ARGB hub if you do not have a ARGB header on your motherboard. We'll get more into that in a bit. And it also has a power switch because you need a power switch, otherwise you have to use a screwdriver to turn on your PC, and who wants to do that? All right, now other things I really love about this is it does have the full power supply basement. It does have the branding on there for Montech, so take it or leave it. It's fine in my opinion. It actually bothered me a lot when I was buying the case, but afterwards you don't really notice it with all the extra ARGB. Speaking of which, it does come with 4 pre-installed ARGB fans, so you get all the lighting and all that goodness inside, already included, already connected for you. To go along with the ARGB fans, there is an ARGB hub in the back of this that's already connected, which you can actually use to connect directly to your motherboard through a 3-pin 5-volt ARGB header, or you can actually use the reset switch. There is a cable already connected to the hub. You can plug that in, and then instead of having a reset button at the top, you have an LED light switch. Like I said, if your motherboard does not have a ARGB header, or sometimes you just use them all and you don't have another one. Now, a downside of this ARGB controller is it does come with 4 ports on it, and those 4 are all used for the fans. So if you have anything else, you basically need to either buy a hub that's bigger, or you can plug that into a secondary ARGB header on your motherboard. Once again, just kind of depends on what you have available to you.
Hey, future me here, and I just realized I made a pretty big mistake. So the ARGB hub on the Montech Air 100 ARGB actually has 6 ports and not 4. So you not only get the fans, but you can plug in like I have, which I should have known this when I made it because I built this computer. You actually can tie in like your CPU cooler or other ARGB items into that and still use the hub. Like I said, there are 6 connections on there, so you get 2 more that you can plug in and use. And sorry about the mistake, and back to our regularly scheduled or edited, or it's not regularly, back to the video.
Let's talk about cable management for a second. Everyone loves a nice clean look, and this PC case really delivers on that. You do have the grommets passing from the back to the front so that you can cover up and hide most of the cables. I actually like those a bit more than the cable management bars on other computers, or other PC cases, I should say. It's just a preference. And then it also has plenty of holes to go from the back to the front, and those would be covered up by fans, or just you can't see them because they're at the top of the case. And then there are a lot of tie down points in the back, and then it also comes with 4 Velcro straps that will allow you to cable manage and keep things nice and tidy. Now you may be looking at this and saying, hey, it doesn't look like there's a lot of room with the power supply basement. There's not, but most power supplies are going to fit in there without a problem. You do have to give it a little bit of force to get in there just to slide it across. It kind of feels like you're scraping metal. Don't worry, the case is fine. The power supply is going to be fine. There's not an issue there. If you do have one of the power supplies where the fan kind of sticks up and it's not flush, you may have a little bit of an issue, but I haven't seen a lot of those power supplies in the last several years because now everyone kind of expects it to be face down, and obviously you don't want that great floor face down power supply. And then the other cool feature this has is that the hard drive cage that is in there can actually slide forward so that you can have extra room for your power cables and extra room for just stuffing extra cables in there for cable management. Now, as far as radiator support and cooling, like I said, airflow inside of this case is absolutely fantastic. For radiator support, you can fit a 240 up on top. You can also fit up to, I think, a 280 in the front. So those are your options. Obviously, it's a micro ATX case, so it's not going to support a 360 millimeter AIO, but I don't know of a micro ATX case on the market that does. If you do, please let me know in the comment section down below, because I would actually like to check that out. All right, so here come the vegetables, the things that take this down just a peg here. We're going to talk about that now, and that is PCIe pop-out covers. I hate them personally. On a micro ATX case, I will give people grace about that because, quite frankly, it's just not that big of a deal with a micro ATX case. With micro ATX boards, you don't get a whole lot of options for where your I/O is. So if you are going to resell this, likely it's just going to be missing the GPU covers. And to be honest with you, most people are going to be needing those out anyway to put in their GPU. So, you know, for resale value sake, that's why I really don't like the PCIe pop-out covers. But I think in this case, they're okay-ish. I still don't like them, but it's not as big of a deal as if this were a full-size ATX case. Once again, the layout's there. GPU, maybe a Wi-Fi card. Most people use USB Wi-Fi cards instead of internal. So I don't think it's that big of a deal, to be honest with you, but I still always knock stuff down a peg because of it. The other issue that we have with this is the actual fans themselves. These fans, I thought at one point were PWM fans. I tried to reach out to Montech, they didn't answer. But what's shipping in the case now, and I've confirmed this with others as well, is that they are 3-pin fans. So the fans are just on. You might have noticed in this video that I don't have them on right now because, quite frankly, the computer's idling. I did want to show off the USB and the aesthetics, but I didn't want to have the fans and having to drown out the fans, you know, with audio suppression and stuff like that. So the fans are 3-pin. They do get a little bit loud. We'll go ahead and insert a noise test here. But keep in mind, that's as loud as the fans are going to be because either idle or under full load, it doesn't really matter because, quite frankly, they're 3-pin fans. They're just on, so they always spin at that same rate. So I will say, while they are, you know, a bit louder than they need to be on idle, obviously, it's not that big of a deal. When you put on headphones, you don't really hear them. But if you are someone who likes to, you know, run with speakers or something like that, if you have it close to you, it may get a little bit annoying. So, you know, it is what it is in that regard. All right, and that brings us to price. And pricing on this thing has been absolutely all over the place, along with availability, though availability has gotten a lot better over the last 6 months or so. So let's talk about price. As of the recording of this video, the price is $74.99 on Amazon. Hopefully it stays that by the time I get a screen capture of it. And I think that's still good value. If you think of a cheap PC case, you know, that you can actually control lighting and such on, generally speaking, you're going to be paying about 65, 70 bucks for that. This case has a lot of features in it for cable management, the ARGB controller, stuff like that, which puts it above the tier of, you know, some of the other micro ATX cases on the market. But also at $75, I think it's still a good value. If you think about, you know, a $20 or $30 pack of fans that would have their own header that you would have to connect, plus the actual case with tempered glass panel itself. Usually for, you know, that you'd be about $75, and you'd still be missing a lot of the cable management features as far as the space in the back, the tie down points, the grommets, all that good stuff. So I don't think price is bad at $74.99. However, sometimes this will go up as high as $99.99, and that for me is absolutely too much. I think it loses a lot of the value at that price point. This case does actually come in black and white. The white case is a little bit more expensive, which, stop me if you've heard that before. Generally speaking, the white cases usually cost, you know, 10, 20, sometimes 40 bucks more, depending on the manufacturer size, all that good stuff. So for the pricing, I would say for right now, it's good. If you look at this and it's $100, it's probably not worth it for the value that you're getting out of it. You may want to look at, you know, one of the other micro ATX cases, maybe spend a little bit more than the $100, but get more features with that as well. But I'll leave affiliate links down below for Amazon and Newegg. It is more expensive through Newegg right now. It's about $80 something, and it also is sold by a third party. But I understand some of you guys can't get Amazon, so Newegg's a better option for you. pick your poison, go with the cheaper one, all that good stuff. So where does this case fall for me? I think it falls short of God tier for what we just talked about, especially if it's up at $99. That's too much for this case. $75 I think is really good price for value for this case. So I have to knock it down a peg for that. For the punch out PCIe covers, I have to knock it down for that. And for using the 3-pin fans, I think really PWM fans on this case would really bump it up quite a bit. But that being said, I'm going to give this case a solid A. We could nitpick it a little bit more and say, oh, it's, it doesn't have a lot of front panel stuff. I don't use front panel stuff, so that never really means a whole lot to me. But for the performance, for the airflow, for the cable management, for the overall use and the value of it at $75, I think it's actually a fantastic case and one that I love actually building in. So thanks for watching my review of the Montech Air 100 ARGB. If you want to see some other PC case reviews that I've done in the past, I'll go ahead and throw a link up for that. Maybe stick around, watch another video, and if you liked it, subscribe, like, leave a comment, all that good stuff really helps me out. And as always, guys, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.